back to the channel. My name is Connor. You can find me at Colin4Orpheus on both Instagram and Ravelry. And today is a very, very, very exciting day because I am going through every single thing I knit this year in 2024. I think I counted like 16 things, which is not that many, actually. That's actually not as many as I thought. I was watching, because other people already have their videos out, despite the fact that it's not really New Year's yet. There's people that post like the week of Christmas, and some of them had like 25 things done this year. And I thought that I was gonna have that many because I knit a lot, but no, I don't. I have, I think, 16 things. Maybe it's 17. And I'm going to go through this roughly chronologically. I don't have Ravelry pulled up, so I'm going off of when, like, the season that I know that these things were made in. But like, so everything, if I say that it's from winter of 2024, like the first couple months of the year, all of those things are from winter, but the thing that I list first might have actually been made after the thing that I list second, right? It's not perfect. Second of all, it's 60 degrees today. It's foggy and rainy and has been for days, and that makes it warm. And so my air conditioner's on, and it's literally right here. And I'm sorry if you can hear it, but I can't turn it off because I'm going to be so hot putting on and taking off all of these sweaters. It's gonna be on. I'm sorry. So I have a pile of things. Again, I'm gonna be going in roughly chronological order, and I have everything that was finished. So I'm not going to be including things that are still works in progress that are hibernating. I'm not going to be including things that I abandoned. I'm not going to be including things that got frogged. So yeah. I'm gonna start with what I'm pretty positive is actually the first thing I cast off, which is my coffee house pullover. It's wrinkled because it was sitting in my sweater storage for months. I don't wear this, unfortunately. I started this in late December 2023, and the initial intention, oh god, I hate this yarn. I'll talk about that in a second. Oh, I hate it. The initial intention for this was for it to be a made-to-measure knitting pattern. But then I realized that I want to say it's Maxim Sears So Basic sweater is like the exact same design motif, so I was like, what's the point in putting out a pattern for this? And it fits okay. I have you, like, you're not that far away, so you can't necessarily see it in full, but like, it fits fine. I think I probably have 6 inches of positive ease, probably. I really like the double folded collar, but I don't like this sweater. And it's partly because it's just a boring design, I think. And it's also because I don't like the yarn, which shocked me. I want to take this off. It's so uncomfortable. This was knit out of Happy Place from Hobbii, the Tony Lipsy collab yarn. And I'm the only person I know that doesn't like this yarn. I think that it would be best for home goods, and I also think that it's best suited to crochet, which makes sense because that's what Tony does. But I find it itchy. It's not soft. I find it quite itchy. It's a cotton wool blend, and I find it to not be very soft and to be really hot for a cotton wool blend. It's super hot. It hasn't worn well at all. I've barely worn this, and it's pilled. I don't know if you can really see it because my front camera is not great. I would have done this on the back camera for the higher quality, but I wanted to be able to see what you're seeing, so I'm going to be moving. I don't think that you can see it, but it is pilled. It's much more, it shouldn't be pilled at all, given that I've only worn this once. Like, I've only worn this out one time, and I've worn it in the house, I think, one time, and it was just too uncomfortable, and I took it off. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's also super heavy. I don't know what I'm going to do. I kind of want to just unravel it and use the yarn to knit a weekender crew, but I don't know, because it's not going to change the fact that I don't like how this yarn wears. So, I don't know. That's the first thing of the year. It was a dud. Then the second thing that I think I finished this year was actually my very first knitting pattern, which are my Memento socks. And this is a design based off of a store-bought pair of socks. Well, not store-bought, they're bought mine, but it was based off of a pair of socks that were Unis Honest merchandise. So I bought them in like 2020? Yeah, like end of like November 2020 I would have purchased them. And I still have them, actually. I just wore them to death, and they were getting to the point where they were just a little too thin. Actually, wait, hang on. One of them is sticking out. I actually wore them this week, and one of them was sticking out of the laundry basket. But yeah, here it is. You can kind of see, like, it's losing its color. Maybe you can't see because it's black, but you can tell in person that, like, this part is, like, a pale gray color. And they're getting really, really thin, and are just, I've worn them to death. So I was like, I can just knit myself some. And I did with these, but they got felted. This was knit in Hobie Rainbow Sock, I think, or Hobie Silly Socks Disco, one of the two. And it's a completely machine washable yarn. I machine wash socks in that yarn all the time. It just can't go in the dryer, is the problem. And I live in a 5-person household, and sometimes I'll leave my laundry in the washer for an hour or so after it's done, and I forget to move it into the dryer, and then my mom will put it in the dryer, which is very nice of her. But she doesn't know that certain things need to be taken out before it goes into the dryer. So, and that happened to these socks not once but twice. So they are beyond fixing at this point. I no longer wear them. But because like, that's solid. Even the ribbing on these are not so bad, but like even the ribbing, it's bad. So I don't wear these anymore. But when they were wearable, I wore them all the time. And I think that I should knit another pair in the new year because they're super easy. But yeah, it's a free pattern on my Ravelry, which is always linked below. Oh, I've completely forgot to mention, there are going to be timestamps in this video. I'm going to make specific timestamps. I think I'm going to do it by season rather than like by individual project. But I'm going to put timestamps in so you can scrub around. Anyway, the next thing. Oh, this thing. Okay, so this is the Fall Line sweater by Rachel Costello Knitwear. And I knitted this in Studio Donegal, Soft Donegal, in the colorway Garnet Heather or Garnet Tweed. You know, it's not as itchy as I remember it being. Never mind. My arms are really sensitive. Oh, it's so itchy. Okay, never mind. Okay, I don't hate this sweater, but I don't love it either. It's just too... First of all, I knitted it off gauge. And so I had to modify the pattern a lot. And it's quite frumpy. When I initially finished it, I wore it all the time. I literally think... I'm going to lower you a little bit. I literally think I wore it like twice a week when I had initially finished it because I just didn't have that many options for sweaters at the time. And it's not horrible. It's really hard to see it in the setup that I have and the lighting and everything. It's not horrible, but I just don't wear it a lot because I don't think it fits me great. I don't think it looks great. And it's very itchy. Like, it's super itchy, but the neckline is really, really wide. So it's tough, honestly, to layer it with things because you're pretty much always going to see it, and it doesn't always look very good. And I'm planning on actually, I've already started unraveling it, which you might have seen. Oh god, it's such a gross feeling on my skin. I've heard good things about this yarn. Like, if you're not sensitive like I am, it's fine, but I find the texture is so bad on my skin. I've actually already started unraveling it. It's just that I did a stone bind off, so it's rough. But I'm planning on reclaiming this yarn and in 2025 knitting the Dagmar zipper sweater out of this because it's outerwear. I don't have to worry about it being itchy. And it's a really beautiful color. It's so hard to see with my crappy front camera and the poor lighting, but it's a really, really beautiful dark red with blue, green, black, and bright red tweed. It's very pretty. So that's that. And then I actually kind of think those are the only two things I finished in the winter months before moving on to spring knits. And I kind of think that this was my first spring knit, and it sucks. So this, oh god, it's so wrinkled. This is my Cloudsley DK. Let me show you the back, because the back is it's hard to see, but it's a slip stitch, like, cable pattern. And when I first finished this, I was like, oh, this belongs on someone's abuela, not on me. Which is a shame, because it's beautiful here. This I knit in Noro Kakigori in the colorway Totori, I want to say. Ugh. and it was a self-drafted. Oh, it doesn't fit well. It was a self-draft. It's really comfortable though. It's really soft. It was a self-draft. I keep distracting myself. Contiguous set in sleeve design, because the way that Isabel Kramer writes her patterns, you really can't just modify it. What I basically did was I just took the slip stitch motif off of the back and self-drafted the rest of it. But this is really comfortable physically, but first of all, it's too short. And you can probably see I ran out of the Kakigori and I had to get to Noro Sonata to do the rest of it. And it's still too short. And the shape is just not great. This is not awesome. I have some qualms with the contiguous set and sleeve construction method. I just don't think that it fits very well. Contrary to what people tell you about it, I don't think it fits well. Even when I follow patterns precisely, it ends up like this, and it's really weird, and I don't love it. But I really love this yarn. It's super soft. It's really great. And I think that in the new year, because I haven't worn this, I just don't. It doesn't fit great. I don't think it looks very nice either. So I do think that in the new year, I could see myself unraveling this if I can get my hands on a new skein of Kakigori in this color, because I really would need a second skein. But I could see myself unraveling this and making a sweater that I actually like and wear, because it is super soft. And I do really like the colors. But yeah, I just think like the overall vibe is, it's kind of grandma. I don't know. Maybe it's not, but to me it feels like it is. So I don't wear this one, unfortunately. Then the next thing I have is a Fever Dream knit, because I knitted it in a complete fugue state. And it's the only cardigan I made this year, and actually the only cardigan I own. This is my Pavilion cardigan. I'm just going to pull it on over my head. But this is something that it's also in Noro. This is Noro Akari. Colorway 9, I think? Or colorway 6, I don't remember. And the white contrast color is Fiber Natura Dona, in whatever their white color is. And I like this cardigan. It's a little bit grandpa-y, but I don't mind that. It's really soft. The one problem that I have is just the contrast color I chose. Like, it looks like the cardigan doesn't fit me very well, but it's not. It's just that the contrast color is DK, and the Akari is like a Aran bulky weight. So everything in the contrast color cinches up like crazy, and it actually prevents it from fitting me very well. So another thing that I want to do in 2025 is just probably just undo the ribbing and stuff and redo it, because I still have more of this yarn. But because I knitted this in a fugue state and it was my first cardigan, I accidentally knit like a crew neck cardigan instead of a proper V-neck, and I wanted a V-neck. So I had to go in. This is the actual knitted edge, and it's folded over to get me the right shape on the pickup line. So I might just go in and completely reknit it. I don't know. But I knitted this over the course of 4 days, and I didn't sleep, because I knitted it specifically to wear to a Hozier concert in the spring. And I'm glad that I made it, but I would never do that again. I don't advise doing that again. And because of that, it's got some problems. And I might just go back and completely remake it from the beginning, because I don't really reach for it because of this contrast ribbing, how much it cinches in. It just doesn't fit great as a result of that. But it's really soft, and I got these cute buttons from Etsy. I like them a lot. So yeah, I want to make at least one more cardigan this year, because I find myself all the time, I'll just be in my room at my desk, like, God, my shoulders are cold, but I don't want to put on a full sweater because I'm not cold everywhere. So I need more cardigans, but that was the first and only one this year. And then the other thing that I knit for the Hozier concert, because there was another thing, were these socks. This is also a free pattern on my Ravelry. These are the Unearthed socks on my Ravelry. And they are just these little daisy socks that are inspired by the Unreal Unearthed album cover. One of them says Hozier on the toe. The other's just stripes. They're like fraternal socks, so they're not exactly the same, but they match still. They're cute. I like them. I actually I did finish the socks for concert, but I didn't finish the pattern until like a month or two later, I think. But they're again available on my Ravelry for free. I think there's 2 or 3 sizes. Very easy. That's it. Oh, this is Fiber for the People yarn, the dark brown, and then the what used to be white and no longer is because this yarn bleeds like crazy. What used to be white and the yellow are both Hopi sock yarn. I think it's rainbow sock. I don't think they sell it anymore. I don't know. Anyway, that's that. And then we actually have our first. No, this is not our first sweater figure. This is the first like off-season garment that was made, which was this is my calendar sweater. This is the first crochet thing of the year, and the only crochet thing I finished this year. And it's tied for my favorite sweater. I haven't woven in the ends. It's fine. But I love this thing. So this is, I don't know, I was just craving crochet. This was in like May, I think. So it was officially too hot for sweaters, but I just wanted to make a sweater. And aside from the cardigan, I hadn't knit anything soft all year, and I didn't really have anything soft in my wardrobe. So I just wanted something soft. And I had all of these sock yarns laying around. And this design just like came to me in a vision to have all of these like diagonal kind of staggered granny squares, and a white main color. I don't know if you can see that very well. And these gray cups. And literally all of these are yarns I used for other projects. All of them. And the reason why it's called the calendar sweater is partly because of the box orientation of everything, and also because all of these things were used in previous projects. So they all have kind of a specific memory or moment in time associated with them. And I love it. And I'm never, ever, 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 ever writing a pattern for this. I won't do it. I shouldn't commit to that. I could potentially, in some world, not promising this even remotely, do like a video tutorial to show you how to do the granny squares and how to join them up and give you an approximate idea of how to build the sweater off of that. I'm not doing a pattern. I'm just not. It was not fun to make. It wasn't. I love it. I absolutely love the finished product. But the squares were miserable to make. I don't like doing granny squares, I've learned. They were even worse to join. The rest of it was fun. But it's also completely haphazard. So like the sides are done like vertically. You know, I crocheted them this way and then joined them under the arm. And there's a bunch of like really haphazard stuff going on here with single crochets and weird shaping. And there's short rows in the back and in the front that are shaped weird. I just couldn't replicate it in a pattern. Grading is hard enough when you're grading something easy. And this is not something easy. I'm not doing it. But I love it. And if you know how to do something like this, do it. Take this as inspiration. You're welcome to replicate this if you want. I'm just not going to instruct you how because it's too hard. But yeah, I love it. It's so soft. I wear it all the time. I wear it in the house. I wear it out of the house. I love it. It has a lot of drape despite being... A lot of people don't associate crochet with being drapey. Frankly, neither did I, but it's all sock yarn. It's just fingering weight sock yarn, which makes it super soft and drapey and wonderful. And I love the shape of it. I love the boxy body. I love the slim sleeves. I just love it. It's great. And I can tell you what the main color is because all of these are scrap. But I can tell you the main color is from You Knit I Dye on Etsy, and it's their off-white tonal colorway, which I think is called Au Naturel, but on Etsy it's just called off-white tonal. So it's my favorite white sock yarn. There you go. There it is. It's beautiful. I love it so much. I kind of want a second one, or rather, in 2025 I want to make another crochet scrap yarn sweater, but probably not the same motif, just because I already have this. So. Now, if you can believe it, I think now we're getting into summer knits. I didn't do a lot in this... Well, we don't really have much of a spring yet, to be fair. So I didn't really do much of the spring by virtue of the fact we don't really have a spring. But I think the first two things I knit in the summer... I think the first thing I made in summer was this. This is the Moonset tee. I have it on Ravelry listed as Moonset Sport because my gauge with this yarn, it's labeled Sport Weight, but my gauge is more like a DK. So I couldn't really follow the Moonset tee pattern. This was knit in Hobie Rainbow Bamboo, I think. And it's a great, I don't know how I feel about it. It's like, it's one of those fabrics, like you put it on your body and it just always feels cool to the touch. But the problem is that it's extremely heavy. I think there's like 500 grams of yarn in this one t-shirt. It's a cotton and bamboo blend with something else. So it is super heavy, which makes it actually kind of uncomfortable to wear, period. So I wore it, but not as much as I wore my linen shirts this summer. I like it. I'm pretty neutral about it. I don't think of it as a dud, but I didn't reach for it all the time by virtue of how heavy it is. And yeah, like if you want something that's soft, this is great. If you want something that's light, don't go anywhere near this. So, yeah, I love the moonset pattern. I'm planning on knitting a moonset pullover soon. I have little to say about this. It's really just fine. The next thing I've got is probably my first barley tee. Probably. So this I knit out of... Oh god, I don't remember. I don't remember actually. This is a cotton linen blend. Ugh, that's an unflattering pause frame. I want to say it's from Rico. I was obsessed with this when I first knitted it, and now I actually don't love it. And I don't know if it's because it's been sitting in storage and it doesn't sit quite how it's supposed to, but I just like don't love the shape of it like I used to. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like, I just don't feel like it fits me or flatters me as well as I initially thought that it did. It's pretty comfortable. It's not soft, but it's great to wear in the summer by virtue of the fact that it's linen and we have really humid summers here. And like, I like how the shoulders look and everything. I just don't, maybe it's the color, I don't know. I just don't feel like it flatters me that well. It's just okay. And I made a second one, and I was initially planning on, I was writing a pattern for this. And I was so hyped about it. And I'm literally not even halfway through grading just the shoulder increases. And I don't think I want to do it. It's really complicated. Like, it's way more complicated than you think it is. Yeah, so I don't know. It's also really hard, like, doing size-inclusive patterns on my own without any help for free. You know, so that makes it harder. But yeah, I don't know that I'm going to put out a pattern for this. There's a similar pattern that exists on the internet called Flater. I'm forgetting the designer. It's from a yarn company. And it's similar. It has a round neck and double folded edging. But it has the same like shoulder concept if you want to do that. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it anymore, frankly. It might just be the color. But I don't feel like it fits or flatters me that well. I think it's the super wide neckline, and even like even when I'm not wearing anything, even when I'm wearing something under it, which kind of cuts into that silhouette, I still feel like it looks really wide and strange. And when I'm not wearing anything under it, it looks even worse. So I don't know. I wore it a ton this past summer. I don't know if I'm gonna wear it a lot this coming summer. And I knitted a second one. I also knitted a second one. So let me get that one. I liked the second one a little bit more, as I recall. I recall wearing this second one a lot more. It's got fun stripes on it. I just think that I would probably like it better if it had a closer fitting neckline, or at least a neckline that wasn't so wide horizontally. But with this kind of shoulder construction, it's actually kind of tough to do that. So yeah, I like this one better. I like this one a lot better. I think it's just the lighter color. This one I can still see myself wearing this summer. I think that it fits better. I like a ton of positive ease, and this one has just more ease. I think this one has longer sleeves as well, which I like. Yeah, I like this one a lot better. Similar concept. This one is knit in Juniper Moon Farm Zoe. It was fantastic. Fantastic summer yarn if you live somewhere I do, where it's humid as hell during the summertime. Because it just feels like you're wearing paper. It's great. I love it. Yeah. I like this one better, but I'm kind of neutral on both of them, to be honest with you. And then I actually started knitting sweaters this summer. Not like I hadn't knit sweaters before, But like there was a period of time during the summer where I was like, ugh, I'm over the t-shirts. I want to knit sweaters, and I did. And the first one I knit, because I was doing it at the same time as my first barley tea, was my Weekender Crew Lights. Here's the front. Weekender Crew Light. I knitted this out of a hand-dyed yarn. I want to say it came from a shop called the Fiber Cave on Etsy. Oh, it's so soft. It's super soft. I love sweaters made of sock yarn. I don't wear this a lot because it doesn't have a lot of ease, and I think that the lack of ease and how high the underarm is, I just don't think that it makes for a fantastic fit. It looks like pajamas, so I never wear it out. I occasionally wear it in the house. I don't have a ton to say about it. I wish that I was able to buy more of this yarn. I bought 3 skeins of it because all they had in stock. I wanted to buy 5 skeins of it to make a crochet sweater because I prefer the look of crochet fabric in, you know, variegated and speckled and hand-dyed yarns like this. But I can only get 3 skeins is all they had available, meaning I could only knit something with it. It is what it is. It's fine. I don't think it's worth unraveling. Like if I could in the future get my hands on more skeins of this colorway from that dyer, I don't think it's worth unraveling this to use on a new sweater. What I'm interested in is if I can possibly get my hands on the colorway Fly from Hedgehog Fibers, which is a very similar colorway. I think it's a little bit more blue leaning. I think it's a little bit cooler. And getting 5 skeins of that and knitting or crocheting myself a sweater with that. The only thing is it's always out of stock everywhere. It's really hard to get your hands on. But yeah, generally I'm neutral on this. I knitted it on vacation. I have some fun memories associated with it as a result, but the sweater itself doesn't see a ton of wear, mostly because it's all up in my armpits. I've learned that I don't like that. And you're going to see that actually a lot more as we get more into the sweater knitting seasons of the year. You're going to hear me complain about that kind of a lot, because apparently I really don't like fabric in my armpits. But yeah, that was my first sweater of the summer, and I have a second one as well. The second one I actually don't know the name of, because the name was changed. I test knitted it, and now that it's been released, the name has been changed, I believe. So there's no front and back. When I test knitted this was called the Late Night Sweater by Kudra Kika. I think Kika has since changed the name now that she's published the book. But I don't know what the name is, because I don't have the book. So here it is. I test knitted this for her in June, I think. I finished it in about a week. And the book came out in November. I love this sweater so much. Oh my god. Okay. I think I knitted the smallest size. I normally wouldn't do that with Kika's patterns. And I don't know why I did it this time, because I actually do wish that I had more room in the body, but, you know, it's fine. I love the color palette I chose. I know that this, like, grayish color, this oatmeal color, is not the most flattering on me, but I don't really care. It's easy to wear, it's easy to style, it goes with everything I own. I wear this all the time. It's knit in, this is Woolstock DK, and this is Plymouth Yarns Homestead, which are two of my favorite yarns, because they're, the Woolstock is not what I would call rustic. The Plymouth sits right on the cusp. It's like I would call it rustic, but it's not itchy, and they don't feel that different. I think the Woolstock is like one step softer. But yeah, I don't wear it right on my skin, but wearing it like this just with a tank top under it is fine. I've worn it with just t-shirts under it. It's fine. I find this to be a comfortable sweater to wear in pretty much all weather. Excuse me. It's comfortable in really cold weather. It's comfortable in 60-degree weather. It's great. I love this sweater. And I have actually more of this exact same yarn combo to knit something else in the future. This is not a thing. But yeah, I love it. I've been wearing this all the time. Like, as soon as the weather started to cool down in October, I was wearing this constantly. I love this sweater. And Kika is great to test for. She herself, I don't know, was involved that much, but the way that she did it for this was we were all in a big Google Doc, and you could just make suggestions right into the Google Doc, which was super easy and super fun. And I got to, and you still get to chat with other people because there's like comments and stuff. So it's not as chatty as having a group chat, but I still thought it was great. So yeah, there it is. And it's not a hard pattern to follow, and there's no short rows, so the front and the back are the same. if I were to knit this again, I do think I would add short rows just because the collar is like right up on my neck. It's designed to have a double folded collar, which I omitted because I know that I usually find them uncomfortable. Um, yeah, I do think that if I were to go back and knit this again, I would just put some short rows in there to bring this a little further down. But it's weirdly convenient that the front and the back are the same because I don't have to worry about wearing it backwards because I can't. So yeah, this is over. This is actually probably my second or third because I have two favorites. I have two sweaters tied for my number one favorite, and this is in the next spot underneath those two. Then what have we got? What have we got for the fall? I believe this was the next thing that I made in the fall. This is my Colleen sweater. It was designed by Audrey Borrego. I tested this for her last year, and the version that I knitted in that test knit turned out way too small. My gauge was off. I chose the wrong size as well, so it was just turbo too small, and I had a ton of negative E's, and I hated it. It was like one of the only sweaters I knit that I was like, oh wow, I hate this. Beautiful, just not for me, because it didn't fit. And this one, I actually think ended up similarly. For some reason, this pattern Colleen, it's so tight. I don't know why. It just turns. And both times I've made it now, it's turned out much tighter than I expected. That's actually not the only problem I have with this. The other problem I have is the neckline. It is wide. I don't know why this is so wide. I expected this to sit more like a traditional crew neck. I think if it sat more like this, see, I just won't. I think if it sat more like this, I would like it better. But something, I'm guessing it's just the underarm divide. It pulls it down. Don't love that. I don't love how little positive ease I have. I just don't think it's flattering on me. I just don't think it looks very good, despite being really beautiful color work. I just think it makes me look really wide. And I think it really distorts my shape as well. For some reason, I think that this section here, it looks like it balloons out, but it doesn't. This is all kind of the same measurement. For some reason, this spot right here looks super wide. I don't know why. And it's itchy. It's itchy. I knitted this in alpaca, which is a beautiful yarn, and it's one of those things like where like mohair, when I touch it with my hands, like, oh, that's so soft. When I put it on my body, it feels like I'm wearing a sweater made of human hair. I don't like it, so I don't wear this, unfortunately. Despite the fact that it's very beautiful, I just don't wear it. It's ripply. It's just not great. I'm not going to get rid of it because it's so pretty. But this could be one of those things that I just gift to someone skinnier than me, who can get a little bit, because there's like no ease here, and I don't know why, because I've measured it, and it's a 47-inch sweater. No, 45-inch sweater, which gives me 7 inches of positive ease. It's not, though. Like, this is not, it's not. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know why it fits me poorly. And even, like, the arms are so snug. I feel like this just needs to go to somebody who has smaller measurements than I do, and or someone who likes a fitted sweater, and or someone who can tolerate prickly yarn. I don't want to unravel it because it's so beautiful, but yeah, yeah. Though it is pretty, and I am so determined. I'm going to knit a Colleen that I like. I'm determined. I'm going to do it. Next year, I'm going to have to knit another one. Because it's so pretty. I can't only fail. I can't exclusively fail knitting this sweater. I might just need to make it like worsted weight. But yeah, there it is. Very pretty, but unfortunately not something that I wear. Then next up, we got a lot of duds this year. I actually almost didn't film this video because I was like, God, I knitted a lot of things this year that I just don't like. But there are things that I like coming up. One of them being my Nebula. Nebula, this is my next favorite under my late night sweater. I love it so much. The color doesn't show up that well on camera. I think it shows up a little better here than it does in my other corner. But I love this. I knitted this out of Queen City Yarns Lotta in the colorway Sundrop, Lemon Drop, Sundrop, and Chain Fiber Baby Teddy in the colorway Clash. So it's a bright, like neon yellow. I have some of the, yeah. This is the Queen City yarns up here, and then this is the Baby Teddy. So it's a bright yellow yarn with a bright lime green yarn. I just love it. I love it. It's so soft. It's big and fun. It's got just I like a ton of ease in my sweaters, and this is exactly what I want. It's baby soft. I love it. It's great. It's actually not that hard to style either. I'll just put like a white t-shirt or tank top under it, and then whatever pants I want, they pretty much all match. Um, it's great. I have no complaints about this, honestly. The only complaint that I have is that I'm pretty sure Lotta is a superwash yarn, though it's labeled non-superwash. It grew like crazy. But I put it in the dryer for just a little bit after I finished it, and it shrunk back up. And I actually think since drying it, it's continued to kind of shrink, both in width and in length, which is not a big deal to me because, again, this is something that I wear over things. I don't wear this on bare skin because my belly button is right here. So, yeah, I love it. I'm not as worried now about washing it because I've seen that it kind of comes back. Yeah, I love it. I really have only nice things to say about this pattern. The pattern itself is wonderful. It's really easy to follow. It's so cute and fun. I don't think that I did as many increases as Andrea suggests you do because she totally like really ballooned it out, and I was like, I don't think I need that many, and I was right. But yeah, I don't feel like it bunches up my underarm. I don't feel like the sleeves are too long or too short or too big. I don't think the neckline is too wide. It's just great. It's not itchy. It's super soft. I love it. It's great. I have only nice things to say about this now. And now we have something that I have only negative things to say about. Okay, and you've not seen it on the channel before. Well, you have. You've seen it when it was a whip. You've not seen it when it was a finished object. And now we're getting into things that you... There's only one of these that I think that you have seen as a finished object. And we're making good time. So, here we go. The infamous, the horrible halibut sweater. Hear me out. I know you're looking at it and you're going, God, that's beautiful. That looks so good. I know, I agree, it does. It doesn't fit me at all. I mean, I can put it over my body. Let me show you. So, I am convinced that when I was posting that video, when I was recording that video, and I was talking about how much I hate this yarn, the yarn was listening. And it went, oh, you don't like me? Well, I don't like you either. And it proceeded to behave in the worst way it possibly could have. So as you can see, this sweater does not fit me properly. It looks like I'm wearing a child's sweater. This is terrible. It's just a terrible fit. And I think it's partly the design and partly the yarn. And partly my gauge. So this sweater is designed to have a quite deep yoke. My row gauge is really big. It's bigger than the pattern says it should be. Not by a significant amount, but it's bigger than the pattern says it should be. Which means my fish, this is the small of my waist. That's where the yoke divides. And the yoke divide is supposed to be deep, but it's not supposed to be that deep. And also, this sweater is supposed to be knit with 10 or more inches of positive ease. Which, if it had that much ease, then this would hang right off my body, and it wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't fit so gross. Like, this is just bad. It wouldn't fit like this. You know, it really wouldn't. But, you know, I knitted it to have 10 inches of positive ease. Because according to my gauge swatch, which was gigantic and round, and used a full 50 grams of yarn, told me that this was going to block out to 48 inches. That it was going to gain 8 inches. Didn't. The yoke, perfectly blocked. The sleeves, perfect. They both blocked exactly as the swatch told me they would. The body didn't budge. I stretched it, I pulled it, I blocked the whole thing as one unit, and for some reason this just didn't grow. This didn't feel like it. So this doesn't fit me very well at all. And I honestly think that even if it had the full 10 inches, this is just too deep of a yoke. This is just not comfortable. I mean, it looks strange. Some people can get this pattern to work, but I do think that it's very reliant on your bro gauge, unfortunately. Were I to knit this again, I would go way down on needle size. Like, even if it meant, like, going down to a sport or fingering weight yarn and just picking a much bigger size, just for the sake of getting that yoke shorter, I think it would be worth it, because this is wild. And the yarn is itchy and not comfortable, which for a superwash yarn I don't find excusable. I don't like the yarn. The pattern is really cute, but it didn't work for me in terms of the fit. Not great. not great. I have some yarn left over, and I was thinking, I could go back and fix it and have something wearable and cute, but because I dislike working with the yarn so much, and knitting is my hobby, it's supposed to make me happy, it's not worth it. So as of right now, this is just a cute, not wearable, not practical finished object. And if someone else will fit in this that I know, I will give it to them. But as of right now, I don't know anyone who is short enough to fit in this, and also thin enough for it to have a proper amount of positive ease, and also comfortable enough with a yoke this wildly. So this is just hanging out for now. And we get to have a little break for a hat. This is the Hellenic hat, which I also did as a test knit. Ooh, my hair's kind of wet. Which I also did as a test knit. This is for Briar Patch Fiber Co. I did the DK version. I think he has a fingering and a DK version available. I think this was done in like 2 days. It was a great knit. I have no issues with it. I love the finished product. It's super soft and comfortable. It looks cool. I did have to invert the chart color. I think the chart is only available with a light main color and a dark contrast. I think at least the test copy. So I did have to invert the colors, but like other than that, it was fine. It's a great hat. I love it. I would recommend it. But before I talk about the last two products of the year, I am going to give a quick mention to my Christmas gift makes this year, because I made a lot of them. I did some gift spins, some gift knits, one crochet gift, and if you want to see all those things, I have a project vlog for them. It's going to be linked somewhere. Nobody watched it because it's not your fault. It's YouTube's fault. Because I had copyrighted music in there, and I didn't know there was copyrighted music. I had no idea until the video was posted, and I didn't want to mute that because I would leave you with like 4 minutes of silence. So it got suppressed. Yippee! But it's still a good video. Go watch it, please. I think it's a nice video. It's cute. It's fun. And you can see all the things I knit for Christmas in that video. Okay, go watch it. It'll be in the description. If I can figure it out, it'll be in the eye thing. I'll figure it out. It'll be linked somewhere. Please go watch it. It's a good video. And with that out of the way, my final 2 knits of the year. One of them is my favorite knit of the year, and the other one is fine. It's whatever. Let's talk about my favorite knit of the year. Here it is. This is my farm sweater by the Knit Pearl Girl, and I love this thing so much. I love it so much. Okay, so this was knit in Knitting for Olive merino, just their classic fingering weight merino, held with their compatible cashmere. The main color is poppy blue, and the contrast color is, what is this? The merino is limestone, and the cashmere is Nordic beach. That's what it is. And this was reclaimed yarn from my Elliott pullover, which is something that I knit this year and frogged because I just wasn't wearing it. I didn't like it very much. I love this thing. It's so good. It fits me so well. It's got 10 or maybe even, I think it might even be 11 inches of positive ease, which is a lot, and I kind of look like a little kid wearing it, but I love it. It's so comfy. It's just good. It's just good. I love it. It's a drop shoulder, which I love. It's got nice, the armhole is actually not super deep, but it's nice and far away from my actual underarm, because my underarm is right here, and the armhole is here. So it doesn't feel like I have much fabric up in the underarm. I love the way the collar sits. It's not choking me, but it's not gaping either. The color is perfect. It's cashmere. But the thing is, this I knit. Okay, I knit my Elliott, which it was the Elizabeth blouse, but I had modified it for a set-in sleeve. I wore it a couple of times. I didn't love it. I washed that sweater once. I wore it, I think, twice. I unraveled the whole thing, which is more friction on the yarn. I'm saying all this so you can keep in mind how much wear and tear this yarn is on. I unraveled it. I washed all that yarn again. I rewound all of that yarn. I knitted it again. I washed this again. I've worn this like 7 times since I finished it in around Thanksgiving. And I think that I've washed this once since finishing it. It's not pilled at all. There's no pilling. There's no fuzzies. Okay, never mind. There's one pill fuzz that I just found on this list. One. Okay. And while this is soft, because it's made of cashmere, it's paired with knitting for olive merino, which if you've worked with a merino before, it's not that soft. It's not superwash, and it's not itchy or prickly, but it's not really soft either. It has a very neutral kind of hand feel, and it's really durable. So while this is soft enough that I wear this just right on my skin, I don't wear anything under this normally when I wear it. It's not really like a fragile yarn. I'm not worried about this getting super pilled and destroyed over time with wear. And it's also like for cashmere, and for what is almost 50% cashmere, because the merino is a light fingering, and the cashmere is like a kind of a heavy lace. So the lace it's more than 50% the width of the merino, meaning this is like it's more than 30% cashmere, or more than 33% cashmere, which is a lot. And for that cashmere content, it's not actually that expensive. Again, for cashmere, which is a luxury fiber, it's not cheap, but for a luxury fiber, it's not that expensive compared to other yarns of similar or even less cashmere content. I love it. It's perfect. It's a perfect sweater. Literally the only thing wrong with it is that the body is a little short. My belly is like ends here. My belly button is like right here. So like it's a little short, but if I'm wearing, because all my jeans are mid-rise, because men's jeans are like only sold mid-rise, so it's fine. You can occasionally see like a little midriff, but it's fine. I would go back and correct it because I have the yarn to do so, but this is a 252 stitch sweater in circumference, and I did a full Italian bind off with the setup rows and the sewn bind off and everything, and I just don't want to undo that. I just don't want to undo that, and for now it's fine. If by some miracle of God I get taller, I'll do it, but I don't think that's happening. So I'm gonna hold on to the yarn, and if I really feel like I need to extend it, I'll extend it. But as of right now, I think it's perfect. It's a perfect sweater. I love it to pieces. I love this thing so much. It makes me so happy. I've worn, this is like new. I finished this Thanksgiving, or a few days, I think it was the 24th, so like a few days before Thanksgiving. I've already worn this more than any other sweater that I've made ever, I think. Actually, that's probably an overstatement, but I wear this all the time because I wear it out all the time and I wear it at home all the time because it's just so comfortable and great and I love it. I cannot say enough good things about this yarn. The only problem that I have with this yarn, first of all, is that it's not available in enough colors. The merino is available in, I swear, hundreds of colors. The cashmere is available in like 10. And they're not even great colors. It's a weird palette. It's like all neutrals, and there's like a lemon yellow and a weird ugly green and this blue. It's really a weird palette. I don't love it. I don't know why it is what it is. Knitting for Olive, please incorporate your cute colors into the cashmere palette. Like, this color is great, but like, where's the red? There's no red. Give me more. Like, there's a bunch of pink. There's no purple. Like, where's the purple? Where's the greens that aren't hideous? Like, there's two greens that are like pea colored. Pea like the vegetable, like the legume. And they're like these gross, like, scummy greens. They're not even fun scummy greens. What the hell? Like, the palette is so bad for the cashmere. But I hope in 2025 they expand it to include more of their, like, fun, like the purples and more blues and more of their greens. And red. Put red in there. Why is there no red? Anyway. Yeah. And the one thing that I would criticize about the pattern, the one thing, actually there's two things. The first thing is it's just really verbose. It's clearly, I think, written with beginners in mind, but I think it's kind of excessive and actually makes it difficult to read as opposed to easy to read. I think if you've literally never knit anything before, it would make it easier, but I don't see the sheer verbosity of the pattern benefiting anybody other than brand new knitters, and I mean like brand new. And then there's too many short rows, I think, honestly. Because like the back of my neck only goes up so high, and so it results in the front of the sweater coming like this is how it's like it's supposed to fit, but this is just not how it organically fits on my body. So it results in the front coming up higher, and looking shorter than it should be, and the back coming back lower than it needs to, and you know that part's like not great. Wow, it suddenly looks really dark. Okay, brighten up, please. Sorry, the sun is setting right now. It's 4:40. But yeah, overall I love it. Those are the only two things that I criticize, and those aren't even things that are wrong with the object. It's just, you know, things to know for the future. And then that brings us to our very last garment, which I almost gave up on and didn't finish. And that is my Christmas sweater. Let me grab it. Here it is. This is my 2024. Oh god, this looks terrible on camera. Oh god, the lighting is so bad. This looks so gross. Okay, this is my 2024 Christmas sweater. Can you please like make that look pretty, camera? Oh god, that looks so disgusting. Okay. In person, it's a really beautiful bright red. On camera, it looks sad. It gets cloudy and it's getting dark. Uh, Depending on when I made, well, no, I'm not going to be able to get any nice pictures of this before I edit and post it, unfortunately. Because it's only going to get darker and grosser. This still smells like cologne. I need to wash this. Okay. Here it is. This is where you're going to hear the armpit thing again. Too much. Too much fabric in my armpit. So this is a self-drafted sweater. I knitted this in Knitting for Olive merino and soft silk longer. I actually have both. The merino was red currant, which is a really, it doesn't look like it, but it's a really beautiful, bright, cool tone red. And the merino is pomegranate, which looks about like this in person. It's on the website. It looked like a deep, dark blood red. It is not. It is orange. It is like fox coat color. I freaked out when I got this combo because it didn't look like this online, but I made it work. And this is just an all-over left-leaning cable motif, regular 1x1 rib on the collar, a teeny tiny amount of ribbon on the bottom. It's inspired by, I want to say, sweater number 15, though I did self-draft it. Yeah, once again, like, I wanted way more positive ease. For some reason, like, it's just, despite the fact that I blocked it out and I really stretched like crazy, and I gained a bunch of width when I blocked it, it just wasn't as much as I thought. And so I think this fits very similarly to my Colleen. Like, it's just not a lot of positive ease here. The collar is a lot wider than I want it to be. The armpit is a lot higher than I want it to be. And it just kind of looks meh. It looks like an underlayer, not like a sweater. It's fine. Again, it's one of those sweaters like Halibut where it looks beautiful when it's off of my body, but I just don't think that it looks very good on me. Nah, it's fine. If I knit a sweater for Christmas next year, I want to knit. There's a pattern called Jul, Jul. I'm forgetting the designer's name, but it's a color sort of these like minimalist, not minimalist, but these like discreet Christmas trees. Like you can tell if they're Christmas trees, but they're not so explicitly Christmas that I could wear it, you know, throughout fall and winter and not just for Christmas. And I would like to knit that. And the other thing that's wrong with this is the bind off is so tight. Okay. I did a knitted bind off instead of a sewn bind off, and it's rough. But yeah, it's fine. It was a lot of work, like a lot of work for a sweater that ended up just being okay. But yeah, that's it. Which is honestly a quite fitting note to end on, because I feel like this whole year was just very, it's okay. In terms of my knitting, and honestly in terms of the year itself, it was like not amazing. It was not the worst year I've ever had. You know, we had one significant tragedy this year, and that was it. I mean, like, we've had years where it was just horrible thing after horrible thing, and this year was like one bad thing. But other than that, it's just really been You know, there have been some good things this year. I've met all of my knitting friends this year. Our knitting group was created this year. That was pretty awesome. You know, I started this year, which has been fun. That's about it. I met my boyfriend this year, I guess. He's cool. It's overall just been kind of crummy, kind of crappy. And I've been really focused this year on getting yarn out of my stash and preventing yarn from languishing in my stash, which has resulted in me just like pushing out product that I don't necessarily care that much about, or am that in love with, or even really enjoy the making process of. And that's the one thing that I really want to focus on not doing in 2025. I really want to focus on making things because I'm excited to make them. And if that means that yarn I like sits in my stash for longer than I want it to, that's fine, because I like the yarn. You know, the problem is keeping yarn I don't like. You know, if I have to hold onto some yarn that I like until I find the right project for it, there's nothing wrong with that. That's normal and good and healthy. So this year I'm really going to focus on putting out projects that I really like and I'm happy with, and not worrying so much about pushing yarn out of the stash, because that it ends up creating projects that I'm like pretty meh about. And I do actually think that I want to post a dedicated, 2025 knitting goals video, probably early in January. I start school again the first Monday of January, I think. So I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful. But yeah, and podcasts are coming back. I promise. I promise they're coming back. I know that I haven't posted one since Halloween. I'm sorry. I was busy. I swear to God, I was busy. It was school. It really was school. And then it was Christmas prep, and then it was more school before Christmas. And then as soon as I finished school, it was, oh, I have vlogs that are ready that I've been filming for 2 months straight. And then I had this. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun for you. It was actually really fun for me, weirdly. I didn't think that it would be, because I was like, eh. So most of the stuff I knitted this year I don't really care about, which is honestly true. Like most of the things I knitted this year I'm pretty meh about, unfortunately. But it was actually fun to go back and look at the things I made, to really assess how I feel about them, and to look at all of it in one place at one time, to more clearly figure out, like, okay, here's the things that I like, here are the things that I don't like so much, and it's so much easier to see that way what I like, why I don't like this, why I like this, and reassess for the coming year what I can do to make all of my projects hits. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching this all the way through, because we are at almost an hour. I'm probably gonna edit it down a little bit, but we're almost an hour, so thank you so much for watching to this point. Thank you for tolerating the air conditioner, because oh my God, I would not have survived without it, and for tolerating the crummy lighting. And hopefully, if you are new here, you'll stick around and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, please. Because that way, if I post another video like that Christmas vlog, that the algorithm is like, oh, there's copyrighted stuff in here, I don't like you, you'll actually see it that way if you hit the bell. So yeah. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I hope I'll continue to see you in the new year. I will have new videos out. I will have new podcasts, I swear, and I hope you'll be there to watch them. Okay, bye.